one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I dump when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit. My game slider boosted. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit. Nigga, I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Before I get into this Thursday night football recap, Week 11 look ahead, I just gotta say something, bro. I gotta say something. The Voice, and I done said this before, The Voice, the show on NBC, shit's trash, man. And I hate to say that, bro. I really do, cause I actually love The Voice like the first 3 seasons of the show. I mean, but Jesus Christ, bro. The show's just not good. Okay, so for one thing, I don't like that The Voice really done always used artists who were already like big time, or like not even big time. They already had a following on YouTube. Now, granted, this is a way to help, small time YouTubers who, good singers or whatever, who couldn't get a breakout audience like Pentatonic and people like that who I saw blow up on YouTube. Maybe that's all fine and dandy. Because to be quite frank with you, I hadn't heard of none of these motherfuckers on YouTube before they was on the show. So I guess that's not even a real legitimate argument. So ignore that. However, the creativity of this show has just been completely lost. For one, the show leaned far too heavily into the judges nowadays. Like, the show is not about the judges. It's about the fucking contestants. However, man, they make this shit so much about the fucking judges, bruh, it's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, the show wasn't going to stay, like, small time looking. Like, the feel of it was always going to change and it was going to blow up eventually because it's on a major network. It's a singing competition. Everything is there for it to eventually not have that small time feel, that cult type of feel anymore. It's going to blow up and feel like a big time thing. And that's fine. I'm not mad at how the stage and all those different type of things change. However, it's a lot of things on this show now that just make no fucking sense to me. And one of the things that's really irritating me is the fact that they have interchanging judges. The interchanging judges thing is now officially irritating. And I understood why CeeLo eventually had to be replaced, because he was going through his little personal stuff off the field. So I get that to an extent. I don't feel like nobody done been as good as a replacement as him other than Jennifer Hudson, who I don't understand. Maybe it's because Jennifer Hudson's so big, but I feel like if they cut J Hud a check, she would be a permanent judge. It makes no sense not to have her as a permanent judge. When you lose a voice like Christina Aguilera, to not replace her permanently with somebody else permanently, it don't make sense. I love Shakira. Shakira should not have been a judge. Gwen Stefani, cool as hell, should not be a judge. Like, to me, the show is just so off right now, and one of the biggest reasons is the judge. John Legend. I like John Legend to an extent, but John Legend in 2022 is a gospel singer. He done basically been a gospel singer the last couple years. Everything he makes sound like a gospel track. I mean, this the same motherfucker that was like, baby, when I used to love you, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Like, come on, bro. Like, what? And now everything, like, bro, every time I listen to that track, God did, as soon as whole verse is done, it breaks my heart. I change it because I don't want to hear that. Oh, I know God did. Like, bruh, he turned the whole shit into a gospel track. I'm like, man, come on, bro. You got to be able to do something other than just turn everything into a gospel track, my guy. And so, and Blake, listen, Blake is a country legend. This his last season. I see why. Because and he done won so many times. But at this point, bro, I mean, I'm looking at this shit the past 2 seasons, bro. And last season, nowhere near as bad as this season. But dog, some of the fucking song choices. Matter of fact, the song choices been bad for the last couple seasons, in my opinion. But on top of the song choices, because that's really the crutch of it all, I can't really complain too much about people not really singing the fuck out of some of these songs, because maybe this is not a song that they should be performing right now. The song decisions that is made just make no sense to me. Some people might got amazing voices, but you see some of these song decisions and it's like, you see some people pick songs where certain notes is what make the song great, and they sing it at a note where they sing it at a whatever you want to call it, to where they don't hit those certain notes and they change them up, and it's not like, bro, the most creative song I done heard on The Voice the last couple years was Hey Ya, and that was performed this year. So shout out to the dude that performed that, his little rendition of that. But bro, there's no creativity no more. The creativity they try to show is atrocious at times, because just go listen to some of these songs that people are singing, bro. You can hear how bad, and I'm not trying to hate on none of these performers, bro. I told you, I'm not blaming the performers. I'm blaming the coaches, bro. Dead ass. The Voice gonna need to take they already done took a fucking break. Bro, The Voice need to hire real coaches, like they need to have a reset. And another thing that I wish these motherfuckers would stop doing, this little thing where they put 2 singers against each other. I think they've been having that since the first season. I can't remember. I gotta go back and re-look at that first season, because I cannot remember if they had that battle shit. But I don't even have a problem with the battle shit. The problem that I don't have a problem with the concept of it. My problem is, for one, having back-to-back rounds is basically the same fucking thing as a battle round. It's just now one contestant can sing their own song. Like, the contestant can sing their own song. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, I liked it better when it was just Blake's team and Gwen's team perform songs this week. The next episode, John Legend's team and the other coach's team perform their songs this week. And then we build off of that, and you get to the final, however many you get to. Then you do the original song creation. This shit that they do, where singers is literally on stage with each other at the same time performing, just don't make no fucking sense. For one, forget the nerve, because I know people gonna be like, well, it's a song competition. Okay, but if it's a singing competition, you don't want to make it to the point where the people are so nervous and so bothered that they can't perform at their best, because that's just ignorant. Like, and then, bruh, when they do the shit where the 2 singers is performing at the same time, some of those performances used to be so legendary, because they would pick songs that both singers could fuck up. Now, bruh, they be picking songs that like one dude or one contestant can sing good and the other one can halfway sing it decently. And the shit that really be pissing me off is a lot of times they'll pick a singer who did not sing the song better to win, because they're like, oh, well, I can see the potential. You know what that tell me? You picked the wrong song for this motherfucker, and because they did not outperform the other person, you said to yourself, well, you know what? If I give them another song, they could have performed it better than that. So basically, the contestant that performed it right get punished, because the better singer, in theory, didn't perform a song that they shouldn't even been singing in the first place, right? Like, bro, The Voice everywhere, bro. I'm telling you, this shit is just not good right now to me, yo. Dead ass. But I guess this is the story of every song competition at the end of the day. But that is neither here nor there. We are talking about Thursday Night Football. The Tennessee Titans went into Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers. Yo, they was showing like little I guess flyovers or whatever you would say, camera shots of Lambeau Stadium. Bro, Lambeau Stadium look nice, bro. I wouldn't have wanted to be there, bro. It's cold. It looked like it was snowing and shit. Before they hiked the ball, you could see all the linemen, the defensive linemen and the offensive linemen's breath with the cold air. Like, shit seemed more like torture to me, but that's neither here nor there. The Titans end up picking up a big win, 27-17 on the road. Now, I want to say something. I did a UFC video. I don't know if it's released yet, where I picked the green. You should look how honest I am, bro. Because I know the video ain't up yet, and I know this video will definitely be up before that other one. But I picked Green Bay to win this game. However, I picked the Titans first. In the beginning of the video, I was like, I'm picking the Titans to win this game. Then I said to myself throughout the video as I was talking about other shit, when I came back to this thing, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take Green Bay. Against my better judgment, I'm going to take Green Bay. I was like, maybe they can pull something off. They done figured out running the ball is what can get you to a victory. Derrick Henry don't play against this. It was a lot of different reasons I chose. Needless to say, I said at the end of the video, but watch Green Bay find a way to make me regret making this fucking pick and they lose this game. And that's exactly what they did. This was a funny game because I've been defending Green Bay's defense all season basically. Green Bay's defense had a rough game the first like 3 quarters of this game. This was a tough game for Green Bay. Ryan Tannehill was dicing them up, and it really wasn't that hard considering most of the throws he connected on, dudes was wide the fuck open. Like for the majority of the game, everybody he threw the ball to was wide open because of how they was trying to defend Derrick Henry. And to the Packers' credit, they did shut down the Derrick Henry thing. However, the Titans were able to pick up so many first downs in this game. They scored on their opening drive. They had a 3-and-out on the next drive, but then they started to score. Like, I think the Titans scored the most points all season. They done scored, 27 points is the most points they done scored all season. Now, this is one of the reasons it's hard to take because you know what the Titans are. The Titans are gritty, grinded out team. They are a great team under Mike Vrabel. This is one of them teams to me that is so very clear that they have a phenomenal head coach that helps make them what they are. However, 27 points being the most points they done scored this season. I mean, I can't look past that, bro. It's a lot of great offenses that might struggle on a week, like here and there, like the Bills, for example. Them motherfuckers struggle the way they do, and they still put up 27 points last week. Like the Ravens, look at how they struggle. All the injuries they got, they still drop 27 on a weekly basis. The Chiefs. So it's very hard to pick the Titans against other teams, especially considering now what I want to give the Titans credit for. I did not think they would do what they did tonight against this Packers defense. Now, the Packers defense began to look like the Packers defense in the fourth quarter too late because it actually wasn't too late because they got the Packers offense the ball back like 4 times in a row in that fourth quarter. Or maybe it was the entire fourth quarter where they kept getting the ball back for the Packers offense. And the Packers offense got them, 3 points out of those 4 drives. And 3 drives that end in turnover on downs or a punt. Like, I'm at the point where I kind of believe the people who said Aaron Rodgers has just got something over the Dallas Cowboys. Because this fucking team was back to looking like the offense look on a weekly basis. Listen, the Packers defense did not look great the entire game, but they did ultimately give this team a chance to win this game in that fourth quarter. It just is what it is. They got the stops they needed to get, and Aaron Rodgers and the offense couldn't do shit. Now, I'm not actually here to get on Aaron Rodgers, even though I do wonder what it would be like if every time Aaron Rodgers missed throws like he missing this year, especially like he was missing tonight in this fourth quarter. I wonder what would happen if after every missed throw, the overthrows and all the underthrows and shit that he missing, I wonder what would happen if all his receivers who he missed on those throws, like threw their hands up, rolled their eyes, gave like some ignorant ass body language. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder what would happen if they did that type shit every time Aaron Rodgers made a bad play, opposed to how he roll his eyes, throw his hands up, huff and puff every time his players make a bad play. I just wonder what that shit would be like. But I'm not here to get on Aaron Rodgers tonight because I'm actually here to defend Aaron Rodgers real quick, which I really don't like. I don't want to do because I don't want to make excuses for this motherfucker, because I still believe, like, I'm looking at Ryan Tannehill dice up a great defense, and he ain't got veterans on his team. Like, he playing with young receivers too. So how come he can figure it out, but this team, they can't? And I'm almost at the point where it's hard for me to blame Matt LaFleur. I refuse to believe that Matt LaFleur is stupid enough to not see that they should be running the ball way more to try to have success on this offense. I refuse to believe that he don't realize that. And the fact that they had a stat tonight to say that Aaron Rodgers and this Packers offense got far, bro, they average at least 8 throws a game behind the line of scrimmage, bro. That is insane. They read that stat off in the first quarter, and I own my life, bro. It's like they threw about 20 of them bitches after they named that stat. I'm like, yo, this is actually ridiculous how short the throws is for this team. And I refuse to believe, like, I just have a feeling Matt LaFleur is just saying whatever Aaron Rodgers want to run that he think can get him going, we just gonna run it. I truly believe that's where they at. Because you cannot tell me that an offensive mind like Matt LaFleur is this fucking stubborn to where he don't realize, bruh, I got 2 horses that I could be building this offense around. It's no way. Because it's no way you go out there on a weekly basis and see, not to mention, Green Bay did kind of get the 17 points they did score in this game. Right? Like, okay, so one of the touchdowns was kind of fluky because they got a 12-man on the field and Aaron Rodgers hurried up and hiked the ball and he threw a jump ball to Christian Watson in the back of the end zone. Mind you, Christian Watson got like 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games. So shout out to him. But you get that fluky ass touchdown. So you take that touchdown away. They really only had 10 points in this game. Meaning they only scored. No, they got a field goal blocked in this game. So they actually did get the 3 touchdowns in this game, I believe. But one of them was a run. Like, to me, this was a game that was really dominated by the Packers. I mean, by the offense of the Titans. They had now the Titans had one drive in this game. It was like 17, 18 plays, and they ended up getting stopped on 4th and 1. But for the most part, the Titans dominated this game offensively as far as keeping the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. But it didn't even fucking matter. Because like I said, at the end of the game in the 4th quarter, the Packers defense gave the Packers offense a chance. And Aaron Rodgers proceeded to miss multiple throws on that next drive. However, on those next couple of drives, he missed Watson going across the middle. He missed, I think it was Lazard going across. I want to say something also. Yo, this dude, Allen Lazard, is not a number 1, but they got him playing like he a number 1. They got to be one of the most painful dudes posing as, and I'm not taking a shot at Allen Lazard, but it is painful watching him have to be the number 1 receiver for Aaron Rodgers. And that's where I will give Aaron Rodgers a bit of an excuse. This motherfucker don't have a number 1, 2. I think he is playing with a bunch of number 3 receivers, to be completely honest with you. It's kind of ridiculous when you actually take a step back, like, and look at, like, not a step back as far as like you step back, but like zoom out on the plays and look at who is getting open. Nobody is dead ass getting open for the Packers. Like, I will give Rodgers that. Like, these motherfuckers do not get open. One of the reasons it's so hard to watch Allen Lazard, he throw his hands up like after every fucking play looking for a fucking pass interference, which is something that most of these Packers players do. But I just noticed, like, if you go watch Allen Lazard after almost every fucking play where he don't make a catch or he don't get, like, if he ain't got the catch, he gonna throw his hands up. This shit is absolutely insane. Because I'm like, my guy, do you think you Devontae Adams? Like, but that's hilarious to me. However, watching him have to be the number 1 receiver is atrocious. Because, for one, he cannot beat the man press routinely. 2, he don't beat his man routinely. 3, when he do beat his man tonight, Rodgers was missing his ass. 2, he don't got the greatest of hands. He is a tall receiver, and I'm not saying he atrocious. I just think he a third. He should be a third option receiver. The Pack, and he can't beat his matchup routinely. He not a guy who gonna take advantage of mismatches. He not a guy who the best route runner in the route tree. He don't got the best hands. He not the best jump ball guy. And when you have another guy in Watson who is not a hands receiver, not the greatest at running his route. Even on the route that he got open on tonight, where he like broke down the field and ran past Buddy. It really wasn't no great route. He just ran right past dude who he caught flat-footed. So I don't know what Christian Watson gonna be. It's hard for me to believe he'll be a number one receiver when you don't have great hands as a receiver. But Aaron Rodgers ain't playing with too much talent as far. It's like I say every time I talk about the Packers, bro. The best receiver on this fucking team is actually Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones not only is the best receiver on this team, he the best route runner on this team. He got the best hands on this team. But the problem with Aaron Jones is because his load is so heavy, he fumbled the ball here and there. And I do think that's a product of him having to do so much on this team. But Aaron Jones, to me, for one, Aaron Jones might not be the most accomplished player on the team because obviously that's Rodgers. But Aaron Jones clearly the best player on this fucking offense this year. I don't even think it's close at the moment. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers' game became so lopsided in that fourth quarter. Because maybe it's because he was throwing so many short passes that when he had to finally start trying to throw and he completed a deep pass in this game. He completed a couple nice little deep plays in this game. So it was kind of weird when he got kind of erratic at the end of the game. The Titans offense is interesting because they don't throw it to the receiver a lot. They did throw it to the receiver a lot tonight. Austin Hooper had a great game for him. I didn't even realize Austin Hooper was on this team until like 3 weeks ago. I do not remember when Cleveland traded this man to them. But it's interesting because when they can do what they did tonight without having Derrick Henry run for a lot of yards, I don't think this is something that's going to happen for them often. Obviously, 27 is the most points they done scored this season. And I don't think you can count on Ryan Tannehill to go out and go, 21 for 26. Now, he did, they was talking so highly of him, he decided to go ahead and give them a dickhead type of interception where it's like, come on, my guy, why in the fuck would you throw that? But aside from that, it was a great game for Ryan Tannehill. Now, like I said, you cannot count on Aaron. You can't count on Ryan Tannehill giving you those type of games routinely. So, you know what I'm saying? I get why people wouldn't bank on the Titans doing much in the playoffs, being a first round, second round exit. Especially because you can't also trust that these receivers is going to, beat better matches. Like, the fourth quarter was a great example of what I thought the Green Bay's defense was going to do all game. But, boy, it's just hard to see them because Tannehill had one of his best games of his career tonight. I just can't bank on him having that type of game all the time, especially if Derrick Henry not having a great game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard for me. And it feel like the Packers' defense kind of changed up a little bit once they realized they had Derrick Henry locked up. But another thing that happened for the Packers tonight that really didn't help them is they really didn't they ran the ball. And I really wish they get more creative with how they run the ball. But the reason they don't have as much creativity in that run game is because they don't want to be a run-first team. So if you don't want to commit to being a run-first team, I don't expect you to try to create too much creativity to get those two running backs easy carries and shit like that. But, it's a lot of shit for the Packers to work on. Who knows what happened with the Packers this season? They moved to 4-7 on the season. The Titans moved to 7-3 on the season. Two teams headed in completely opposite directions. But that's my analysis on the Green Bay game. People thought Green Bay wasn't dead after Dallas game. I said, yeah, they are dead. But, it's just what I see, bro. This offense, I knew they wasn't going to commit to running the ball like they did in Dallas. I knew it was no shot. I knew Aaron Rodgers, man, just look at this pass game, bro. Aaron Rodgers ain't been great or good, really. But neither is these receivers. So, the Green Bay team is an interesting team this year. They should definitely be in the top. It's just so crazy because if the offense was good, this would be a good team. Like I said, because the defense is not bad. They had a rough game tonight. It's not a bad defense. I mean, it was a play tonight where I think Sammy Watkins was running wide open across the middle of the field and Aaron Rodgers just straight up missed him. Like, it's a weird game, bro. But let's get into these 1 o'clock slate games, bro. I'm going to run through these shits. You heard me. The Rams, they on the road taking on the New Orleans Saints. Bruh, I'm almost certain Andy Dalton will be starting in this game. And I just want to say something. I don't understand how Andy Dalton's leash is so much longer than Jameis Winston's leash, when he is literally going out there doing the same shit Jameis was doing. It literally don't make sense to me that a dude that came into the season as a starter had a shorter leash than the backup, and the backup is playing just about worse than the starter is at this point. It don't make sense to me. I never like players losing their jobs because of injuries. But this situation right here just don't make no fucking sense to me, that New Orleans keep trotting Andy Dalton out there like they have a chance to win these games. They to me, it's at the point where the Saints not only is banking on their defense to be legendary on a weekly basis, but they banking on the other team to be historically bad, or as bad as they can be all season on a weekly basis, bro. Because this shit is ridiculous. But the 3-6 Rams go in and take on the 3-7 Saints. And the sad part about this, after everything I just said, I'm picking the Saints to win. Because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the Rams, bro. Obviously, I done said about Matthew Stafford. We done talked to him. I don't even know if he playing this game. He didn't play last game. Talked about the fact, they Cooper Kupp on IR. Allen Robinson have been an atrocious fucking signing. You put so much on your defense to be perfect on a weekly basis because the offense can't do shit. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. I'm almost at the point where I think they might just start losing on, like, trying to tank so they can go out and get a receiver or a quarterback in the draft. I pray that they're not stupid enough to use their high pick in it. They might not even have a first pick in this draft. Who knows what's going to happen with the Rams? But this Rams team just does not inspire you. Neither does the New Orleans team, but they got a defense that inspire you. And Alvin Kamara. So that's what I'm going to lean on. So I'm taking New Orleans to win this game. In New Orleans. The 3-7 Chicago Bears headed to Atlanta to take on the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons. Now I was going to pick Chicago, because I think Justin Fields going to have another good game. He's going to probably throw for like 120 throwing yards. And probably going to run for nearly 100 rush yards again. Probably have like 2 touchdown throws in the red zone when they get down there close. I can see Mariota throwing a pick or two. But this is the thing. I can also see the Falcons racking up damn near 200 yards on the ground because of how bad the Chicago Bears defense is. Now, I can see that happening to Atlanta because of how bad their defense could be in this game. However, the only reason I'm going to take Atlanta in this game is because, for one, I just do not think Chicago is a good team. As much as people love Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields. I'm still very closely evaluating him. I think he a good talent right now. I like that they leaning into what he do best, which is run the ball. I think you could really lean into that if you go out and get him. I guess you got to just build through the run game now. But Mariota played one of the worst games I done seen a quarterback play last Thursday, bro. I'm taking Chicago. I think Justin Fields will be out. My fear with Chicago is for some reason, they just don't know how to finish games. And it's not even for some reason. They got young players everywhere and players who won't even be starters or on the team next year. But I think Chicago will find now, this is a team that can't find ways to finish games at home. So I know it's crazy to think they'll find a way to finish a game in Atlanta. But I do think they'll figure out how. Damn, bro, but their defense is rough. But Mariota will give you, man, I'm going to take it. Because Atlanta could have a great game on their ground. And Mariota is coming off an atrocious game. I'm going to take Chicago. I kind of want to take Atlanta, but I'm going to take Chicago. 5-5 Washington. They head into Houston. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Washington going to pick up this win. Houston got one of the ugliest records I done seen. 1-7-1. Houston not winning this game. I'm taking Washington. I'm not spending too much time on that. 3-7 Carolina Panthers, who start in Baker Midfield, head into Baltimore to take on the Ravens, who are 6-3. I'm taking Baltimore to win that. Obviously, I'm a Baltimore fan, but it's no bias. The Panthers not winning this game. For one, after seeing what the Bengals did to the Panthers on the ground, Bro, if the Panthers let the Ravens do what the Bengals did to them, bro, this game will be over by the third quarter. Shit, could be over by the second. I don't think Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. I done talked about this for 2 years now. To me, he is a below average quarterback. That's why I call him Baker Midfield. People can make all the excuses they want to for this dude. This dude's just not good. If the Panthers can get some type of running game going, then Baker Mayfield will have all the short throws and, you know, all that shit going for him all game. But I think this could be a very rough game for Baker and the Panthers, to be completely honest with you. Baker and DJ Moore don't have any type of real connection. I mean, shit, DJ Moore's connection with PJ Walker was better than his connection with Baker Midfield. The running game for Carolina dominated last week against the Falcons. I don't think that'll be the same case this week against the Ravens. The Ravens obviously a team chasing far more this season what the Panthers are. I just think this will be one of them walk-away games. I actually do think Baltimore will win this game handily. Detroit, 3-6. They head into... They go play the New Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants, 7-3. Taking the Giants. Now, still not a believer in Daniel Jones. He's not the worst starting quarterback in the league no more because Baker Mayfield start from time to time. PJ Walker start from time to time. It's another. Oh, and buddy over in Atlanta, Marcus Mariota, start from time to time. Now, he ain't too far away from them dudes either, but he ain't as bad as them dudes right now either, so I give him that. Saquon Barkley done had a good year. I don't actually think Saquon Barkley, he might not be a Giant next year. But that's not here. We're not talking about that right now. This is an interesting game because I actually wanted to start. I started when I first was looking through the games before I did the show. I actually picked Detroit to win this game. Like I said to myself, Detroit gonna win this game. But I just don't trust Detroit because against a team like New York, who I don't really think the team is what the record says it is. Like this is a 7-2 team, but I don't think they 7-2 great. This is a team that I think could struggle to score in Detroit because they do have games this year where they was scoring so well, where I would think to myself, oh, Detroit gonna come out there and score, but they won't. They will play down to the not necessarily to the level of competition, but they'll basically kneel to a team with a better record at the end of the day. That's truly what I feel. So that's why I'm not picking Detroit. It's too many games this year where Detroit should have beat teams handily, and they didn't. And to me, that's just coaching. That's the offense. Obviously, Jared Goff is what he is, but listen, y'all can keep letting Dan Campbell parade around there like he a good coach, inspirational coach all he want to, and this is exactly what you're going to get from Detroit. And I called this shit before the season when everybody was hopping on Detroit's bandwagon. I say, yeah, but they still got Dan Campbell as a head coach and Jared Goff as a starting quarterback, so you can miss me with that bullshit. But I'm taking, I was finna say the Nuggets. I'm taking the Giants to win that game. The 3-6 Cleveland Browns. They head into Buffalo to take on the 6-3 Buffalo Bills with a pissed off Josh Allen. Not even a pissed off Josh Allen. Probably just annoyed at the headlines and shit. Obviously, I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. Deshaun Watson, I guess he can compete. He can do walkthroughs with the team and shit now. I forgot that Deshaun Watson shit was coming up. We're going to have to talk about that shit as it get closer. But we won't be talking about it tonight. I'm taking Buffalo to win that game. No way Buffalo dropped this game. Another back-to-back games at home, I can't see it. And while I like players on the Vikings defense, and I think I like how they stepped up, bro, it's hard. Like, Myles Garrett can make a game rough. I agree. My problem with believing in the Browns is that secondary. Man, that secondary going to give Josh Allen some plays. I do hope that the Bills use Josh Allen more. One of the things I don't necessarily love too much about how the Bills allow Josh Allen to play is people always talk about Lamar getting hurt. Look at Lamar play and look at Josh Allen play. Lamar, if Lamar get hurt, it's legitimately going to be a freak injury. If Josh Allen get hurt, you're going to literally look at the play and say, yeah, it makes sense. Motherfucker be going out there throwing interceptions and trying to tackle people with his shoulders and shit. I'm like, my guy, you are my starting quarterback who's getting paid a hell of a lot of money to help us get to the Super Bowl and win it. I don't need you going out there with your ego running wild like you Baker Midfield trying to make tackles after the fucking interception you just threw. Like, stop that. I'm not critical of Josh Allen too much. I am critical of that. I meant to say something about that on the breakdowns of last week's game. You got to stop doing that shit, Josh. Like, come on, my guy. You way too good a quarterback to be going. For one, you already put yourself in crazy amounts of harm's way because you don't like to slide. You like to take contact on these runs, and all it's going to take is a a big tackle that's going to hurt you. I saw Carson Wentz take a big tackle when he ran that ball into the end zone, and it fucked up his career. He ain't been the same since. I need you to start sliding or something. You don't have to take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits a game. You don't have to fucking go try to make tackles after you throw an interception, my guy. Just walk off the field. The damage has been done. If you throw an interception and then you go make a tackle and you get hurt, throw your arm out or something, what the fuck we gonna do now? So, let's chill out on that, big dog. All right? Still my guy. The 6-3 New York Jets head into New England to take on the 5-4 New England Patriots. And I'm telling you right now, I'm taking the Patriots. I do not think the Patriots are better than the Jets. I don't. And I'm slowly, I haven't completely sold my stock in Mac Jones. I didn't own too much stock in Mac Jones, but I think he could be a better quarterback elsewhere. People continue to pile on the Mac Jones, and I just don't get it because this is not a good coaching staff. The offensive coordinator, the people who helping him. Like, it's so insane to me that Mac Jones is taking all the bullets for having less than talent. Like, it's crazy, bro. But with that being said, he is the sum of his parts right now. However, for some fucking reason, these Jets quarterbacks, whether it be Sam Darnold, whether it be Zach Wilson, fucking suck against the Patriots. And I'm just going off of the trend right now. If the Jets win this game, hey, it'll be a step in the right direction. It's hard. I think this is one of them games where the New England make this division like a game apart for like the two teams. Like, matter of fact, I think if New England win this game, the Jets will move under them because that'll be the second win they got over the Jets. So I'm taking New England in New England. And you want to know what's crazy? As good a team as I think the Jets are, aside from I don't really think they're that great on offense. I love their defense. I don't even think it's gonna be that close a game. Like, I think Zach Wilson, it is just something about these New York quarterbacks playing against New England. I just think he will have a 3 interception type of day. Probably have a fumble in there. It's gonna be a rough one. The 8-1 Philadelphia the Philadelphia Eagles take on the 4-5-1 Indianapolis Colts, bro. What a fucking record. I'm taking the Eagles. For one, Indy's not a good team. 2, I do want to say, there's a lot of talent on this Indy roster. I do want to say that. But 3, well, actually the real number 2, that just popped up in my head. But the real number 2 is, I like Jeff Saturday. I think Jeff Saturday could end up being a good coach for this team. Do I agree with how he got the job and all that type of shit and the things surrounding? Fuck no. But I do like Jeff Saturday, and I think he could be a good. I always thought Jeff Saturday would end up being a head coach, and I'm not gonna lie. I always thought he was gonna end up being a head coach for the Colts. I dead ass did. I just thought he would have actually put in more time by now. He didn't even have to put in real time, and he was gonna end up getting that job eventually. But nonetheless, I don't think they will win this game. I do think this will be Jeff Saturday's job though by next year. Like, I think they're just gonna hire him full time. But the Colts, if they decide to play hard for Jeff, and I don't know why you would have to play hard for Jeff. You should just play hard because you're getting paid to play hard, and you might lose your job and those type of things. But nonetheless, I just think Philly got too many ways to score, and Indy doesn't. The Matt Ryan coming back last week doing what he did, good little thing, the run he had up the side, that's cool. Philly's a different animal. People can doubt Philly all they want to. Do I think Philly is playing as good as his record? Yeah, damn right I do. I don't know how you can look at Philly and think to yourself, oh, this team is not really a good 8-1 team. This is a good 8-1 team. I don't know why people, have you seen how this team can score points in the multitude of ways that they can score points this season? Do you see the fucking weapons that they have and the equalizers they have on both sides of the ball? They just went out and signed Ndamukong Suh. I promise you that will be a difference maker if he is healthy enough to play the rest of the season for him. To me, I don't get the hate for Philly or the non-belief in the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'm a believer in them. And I'm taking them to win this game in Indy. The 4 o'clock slate, you got the 2-7 Vegas Raiders heading into Denver to take on the 3-6 Denver Broncos. I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game. I don't really like either of these two teams. I wanted to take the Broncos because of the defense, but the reality is the Broncos can hold the Raiders to 10 points in this game, and the Broncos offense will figure out a way to score less than 10 points. It just is what it is. The Broncos defense is phenomenal. I expect them to have another great game today. I truly do think it's a shame at how great defenses the Broncos have had the last couple years that have been wasted, because I just know that when they do finally get a great offense, their defense won't be this good anymore because so many of the different players have left to go on to different teams. Whoever drafting and getting these defensive players over there in Denver, shout out to you because you're doing a damn great job. But and whoever coaching these dudes up. But it's a real shame when you see a defense as good as the Denver Broncos defense be 3-6 on the season with as many games as they had of holding people to under 20 points. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But the difference in this game is while I don't trust either quarterback more so than the other, I do trust Davante Adams. And Davante Adams to me is a game-changing type of player. I truly wish Davante Adams was a Baltimore Raven, man, because the Ravens would be a Super Bowl team if they had Davante Adams. Davante Adams is one of them players who I truly believe could be great with any fucking quarterback you put him with. I'm talking about you can put him with a trash can type of quarter, and it's hard for me to believe he would not be what he is. This dude is so... I don't know if he truly is that, but I do know if you give him a competent quarterback, the motherfucker is light years ahead of the competition. It's just when you sit down and look at Davante and you look at all the things he does, for one, he don't got a flaw in his game. He don't have no weaknesses in his game. And it's so very rare to say that a player don't have a single weakness in their game. But Davante don't have a single weakness in his game. And when you look at what he do when he on the field, it's like poetry in motion. Like it's unfucking real. Davante is still, to me, the best receiver in football. I thought Justin Jefferson was going to take that, and Justin Jefferson is having the exact year that I thought he would have. But after watching Davante the last 2 weeks, bro, it is hard for me to say that it is a better receiver in football than Davante Adams. That motherfucker is special, and he deserved every single bit of that contract that he got from the Raiders. I just hope and I pray that this dude can find a way to have a quarterback. I hope the Raiders find a way to be competitive because I truly want to see Davante in a Super Bowl. He never got that shot in Green Bay because the Green Bay Packers just for some fucking reason couldn't get it done. And I doubt that it'll happen with this team that he got right here in Vegas. But if Vegas get to a point where they have to go to a full rebuild, Davante's getting traded. He's not staying on a rebuilding team. He's going to get traded. They wouldn't even want that contract on a rebuilding team. So, Davante to Baltimore is still a thing. The 6-3 and highly disappointing Dallas Cowboys head into Minnesota to take on the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys. Even though Dallas, like I said last video, had one of the most disappointing losses I've ever seen a team have in recent memory because I just don't understand how you lose that game last week to the Packers. Mind you, the Dallas Cowboy defense, as great as it give up 31 to the Packers. The Packers couldn't even put up 20 fucking points tonight against the Titans. And the Titans got a good defense too. Shout out Simmons. Shout out I think it's Byron. I can't remember how you pronounce KB. Shout out to all those dudes on the Tennessee's defense. Tennessee's defense ain't getting talked about like it's Dallas's defense. And somehow Tennessee's defense went out tonight and held them to 17. Dallas defense gave up 31 fucking points. You make that shit make sense. However, I think Dallas will be on a rebound type of thing. I think they'll play angry. I think they'll have a far... People piling up on Dak right now. I'm interested to see how Dak respond. Now, they kind of have the number of the Vikings, so I'm ultra interested. And another thing, this loss won't matter for the Vikings either way. That's another thing about this game. This loss doesn't matter for the Vikings. Unless they just truly care about having the number one seed in the NFC, this loss, as far as division-wise, don't matter. They have won this division. They have one loss. The Packers now have 7 losses. It ain't no fucking way. Let me make sure. Yeah, it ain't no fucking way the Vikings end up losing 7 games this season. For one, the Packers ain't done losing. Oh yeah, they got one more in them. They got a couple more in them. The Vikings don't have but probably 2 or 3 more losses, if even that. The Vikings have won this division. They won that division. The Vikings are not even competing against the Packers and no team in that division at this point. So this win, if they lose this game, it truly won't matter as far as like the Dallas, but it will matter as far as like standings because Dallas is still 6-3. They win this game, they 7-3. You're 8-2. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is another slip up because this is a lot of parity in the NFL this year. You dig what I'm saying? Let me find another good NFC team real fast. But it is a lot of shit records for these NFC teams. Now that I'm looking, there we go. Philly 8-1. The it's not an NFL. The Giants 7-2. Very unexpected high record teams, but it was a lot of bad NFC record teams on there. But Minnesota's good. Minnesota is fine, regardless if they win or lose. This loss don't really. If they lose this game, it won't matter, and it will be a tough game for Dallas because it is in Minnesota. I just don't give a damn about Minnesota having home field, not a home field. That's not a team to me that really. A home field don't really make too much of a difference to me when it comes to Minnesota. Minnesota gonna give you what they give you. They don't change, in my opinion, at home or on the road. They play their type of game. So Dallas, to me, if they come in and do what the defense is supposed to do, then they'll win this game. However, because this is a big game, and I understand big game Kurt ain't the greatest, ain't the best, or probably good to anybody at all. But Dallas with these big games is just as bad as you think primetime Kurt is. So just keep that shit in mind. The 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals head into Pittsburgh to take on the 3-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not talking myself into picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand they beat a bad team last week. However, I don't trust Pittsburgh to be able to keep pace with Cincinnati's offense. Is Cincinnati's offense the best? Do I think they're going to do what they did to the Panthers? Fuck no. I do not. However, I do still believe that it is a way that I don't know if they blow them out, but I do know they could blow them out if they play a great offensive game. Now, Zach Taylor is overrated to me. People gave him a shit ton of credit for the things that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and them receivers and them did. But nonetheless, if he can get his head out his ass this game and actually can be consistent like he was last game against the Panthers, calling a good game, even though he had moments in that game where it's like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Then this will be a good game. This will be a rather simple, and I'm not going to say simple because it's still a divisional game. But I do feel like Cincinnati will come out on top of this. If Cincinnati loses this game, it will be very interesting because then they will have fallen to 5-5, meaning they are in major. Now, still a lot of season left. But let me tell you why it's a danger to fall to 5-5 if you are Cincinnati. Because you're looking at the division where the Bills play, right? And you look at the Bills, 6-3, already better than you. All right? They are third in their division, meaning they would already get a wild card spot over you. That ain't all. Look at the Jets, second in the division. They are 6-3 also. Look at the number one team in that division, the Dolphins. I think they are 7-2. They have beaten the Baltimore Ravens and they've beaten the Buffalo Bills. If you lose this game, Cincinnati basically have to start winning out. Unless teams begin to fall because of how highly competitive teams have been this year and because of the records teams have. KC 7-2. The Chargers got a better record. They got the same record as you right now. That's a team that you would be competing against in the wild card situation. The problem being, 2 teams from the same division have 3 teams from the same division have better records than you, but 2 of them teams would already get in over you because they both have better records than you, and the third one obviously would get in because they win their division. So it's not looking good for you if you're a Charger fan or if you're a Cincinnati fan. And speaking of the Chargers, they have the Sunday night football game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs 7-2 coming into this game. Chargers 5-4. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game because I think the Chiefs are the healthier team and they are finding their groove. I don't believe in the Chargers offense. I don't believe in the Chargers play calling. I don't believe in the Chargers for 4 quarters, and I don't believe in the Chargers defense at all. Here is my problem. I mean, here's another thing when it comes to the Chargers. If you lose this game, you move to 5-5. Again, you are now hoping that the Jets start to lose. You are now hoping that Buffalo starts to lose. You are now hoping that the Ravens start to lose, because now, no, not the Ravens. You're hoping Cincinnati keep finding a way to lose. You hope the Jets find ways to lose. The Dolphins find ways to lose. New England, who I haven't even talked about, they are also 5-4. I picked them to win this weekend. They will move to 6-4, meaning that if you lose, they have a better chance to they have a better record than you also. So if you are the Cincinnati Bengals, and I guess you could say the same thing about the Patriots, but specifically 2 teams that came into this season with a lot of expectations in Cincinnati and LA, you find yourselves in very particular, not so advantageous situations. You got to get these wins. You got to win. It's getting ugly out there. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining the kid on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them, man. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that good shit. Help me blow up, please. And I'm going to keep giving this great content. I'm going to get better, bro. I promise you. I haven't said that in a minute. But I'm going to get better. And I'm on a new little regimen and thing. Like, bro, we about to rock out, bro. We about to rock out. And I can feel my sickness going away finally, bro. We about to rock out, man. But tell somebody fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him, man. I fuck with y'all, man. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.